Hi everyone, welcome to OTV Gooner and our show, The Shooting Lone Star with Ram from the Austin Gooners. Hey bro, how are you?
Hey, I mean, how's it going, bro? It's been a rough April for the Gunners, hasn't it? But yeah, we keep going. But other than that, just going good here in Austin, Texas, man. Beautiful weather, and yeah, man, spirits are high still.
Yeah, bro. Difficult game. We always knew it was going to be a hard one against Man City. They are flying. They've been playing so well recently. And not just that, just overall, 5 years, they've won the league for the last 5 years. We know what a great team they are. They've added a striker like Haaland into that team. So we always knew it was going to be a tough task going there at their stadium, especially our recent record against Man City in the Premier League. But just we just didn't seem to be able to compete, which was disappointing. We didn't play our game, and once they got that early goal, they dominated the whole game, and yeah, it was tough to watch. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I was certainly very disappointed in how we came out. Like I thought we were gonna come out flying and playing our game as usual, right? Like that's kind of what I expected. Not to say we didn't try. I just think we it looks like we've kind of hit a wall in terms of like we've run out of ideas, right? We've been figured out. Kind of indicative with everything in terms of the past few games. But City just were kind of ready for anything we brought with them. And then we just seemed a little off, like we looked tired, basically, is the short answer, right? Like every pass was just a little off, and City were just able to jump everything. So anytime we could never get anything going, and anytime we strung two or three, four passes, that fifth pass would just get intercepted, and then they take over. And there were moments in the game where City, their players were just kind of standing with the ball, and our guys were just kind of like it almost felt like we were kind of saving ourselves maybe for the second half. And then when the second goal went in, it was just kind of soul crushing. But like we did kind of come out firing in the second half, and then gave up that third goal. And I think any chance that we had was just kind of done from there. Um, and yeah, it just wasn't our day. It hasn't been our month, and it just I think ultimately like it really shows the gulf in the quality between City and then us and then the rest of the league. A lot of teams, a lot of fans of different teams have been like bantering us now right lately, like, oh, we're bottling the league, this and this. But all I could say to that is like, hey, nobody else is competing on City's level. And we are still doing it. As of right now, yes, they're top of the league by a point. Um, but we're a point away from them, and we're going toe to toe with them. But this match recently, right now, like really showed just kind of the difference in quality, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it just who did they bring on? They brought in Phil Foden, Julian Alvarez, Riyad Mahrez off the bench. Like, it's not even fair, right? And then we brought Trossard, Jorginho, and Smith Rowe, right? Like the 60th or 70th minute. I thought that kind of brought a little bit of life to us. But then after that, we brought Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, good players. But I mean, the players that I named for City that came off the bench are just world class, man. Like it's just hard to even like just it's frustrating. Like Julian Alvarez uh was in the World Cup. Phil Foden was in the World Cup. Riyad Mahrez, he plays for Algeria. They didn't make it, but he's easily a starter. They just got world class players, man. And we're a few years behind, and it just really showed that match on Wednesday. Disappointing.
Yeah, bro. That's the thing, bro. We come so far from where we've been the last few seasons. We've been saying it all season, but obviously the expectations grow with that, and we were hoping to be able to challenge City, but we've
Yeah.
pushed them. We've pushed them. We've stayed close to them. Well, we've been ahead of them all season. Just now, they've managed to get ahead of us. I'll get into that in a minute because they just finished playing earlier today and they've
Yeah.
won. So they've gone top of the league now, and they do have a game in hand still. People are saying that we bottled it. Okay, that cannot be something you can say at us at all. Bottling it is when you're so many points clear and you've got a lot of experienced players. You're expected to go on and win it, right? And then you
Yeah,
don't do it. That's what bottling it is, right? In our situation, we were never expected to go win it. We haven't got an experienced team. We've got a very young team. We've just come from finishing fifth last season, eighth with 2 seasons before that. So from where we've got to, we've not bottled it. We've progressed. We've improved. We're closing the gap. We've actually gone ahead of the teams that were above us last season, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, well ahead of them, and our progress has been amazing. So for those people that are saying we bottled it, that's ridiculous. With examples, I can even think of a team that are bottling. You can look back at Man United. I think 2012 it was when they were well ahead until just a few games to go, and they ended up losing it to City. Then that's an example of bottling it. That was a very
yeah,
experienced team, a team that have been champions before as well. They bottled it. That's the right phrase to use for that situation. This situation, all this talk about us bottling is ridiculous. And yeah, I've had a lot of banter from family and friends that support other teams, and I just say to them, just look at the league table, look how far ahead of you we are. Another thing as well, I've been hearing a lot. I'm sure you've seen it. Is that it was boys v men. So for them,
hmm
men and we were boys. If that's the case, well, we got a young team anyway. So yeah, we are a young team. We know that. But if you want to try and say that in a banter way that men v boys, then you need to take a good look at your teams because our boys are the second best team in the Premier League.
yeah, yeah, and exactly as you said, yeah. Again, you know, we're I guess punching above our weight, right? To use a different kind of metaphor as well. Like that's what we've been doing all season. Obviously, yeah, like we've surprised a whole lot of people by being in this title chase for this long. So everybody starting to talk trash, saying like, "Oh yeah, you guys are out of it now. You bottled it. You're no longer top of the league." Like, I've been responding like, "Hey, you've been waiting 33 weeks to say that, right?" Like, you've been waiting week after week after week to say Arsenal finally screwed it up, and that's a testament to just how good we've been for a while. And I think it is also on the flip side okay to be a little bit disappointed in our performances. We've really bottomed out, like 3 draws, and then now this really bad loss. We're in bad form. Like there's no other way to put it. Um, and it sucks, but we still got 5 games to go. Um, City. I watched a little bit of that match against Fulham. Um, Fulham played really well, all things considered. City looked a little tired. City still have a ton of games to play. Like it's it's a long shot, but I think it's still up for grabs, and we just have to play our game. And that sounds simple, but just play our game, worry about ourselves, and you know, as I said, it's been a tough 4 games. It's been a tough month, but we got an opportunity to right the ship by playing against Chelsea in a London derby, and hopefully we can turn the tide and start moving forward a little bit
Yeah,
because
for
we got
sure.
it. Yeah, we got a chance, man.
Yeah, for sure. You look at it, 4 points isn't that much, but it's just we know how good Man City are, and we know it's likely they can go win every single game they have left for the end of the season. But yeah,
Yeah,
two two bad results from them, and we'll be right back in it. But I think a key thing as well, though, is that regardless of that, we want to finish the season strongly. It's still we've got a chance to get 90 points, which is amazing. And yeah, it's been such a great season. We don't want to like fizzle out and have a poor last 5 games. It'd be nice if we can get 5 wins, finish on a high, and you never know where that could take us depending on the City situation. One thing I wanted to ask you about, so you mentioned the tide factor. This is a big thing, I think, when it comes to squad rotation. So we know that our squad is nowhere near as strong and deep as Man City's squad. We saw throughout the season Pep was rotating the players a lot. Whereas in Arteta's case, he couldn't really do that. He was having to stick with a main bunch of core players, rotated a little bit here and there when he could, the Europa League games, in the League Cup, etc. But we saw Pep throughout the season, he was constantly rotating, and it was to get them in this situation they are now, where you get to the back end of the season, you still have a fresh squad, minimal injuries as well. If you see, they've got very few injuries, and You got to say credit to them. Great job from them. But from our side, we know that we've got a limited squad. We do need to add depth. We do need to add experience. So it's for process. We are still in that process. We're getting to them. Couple more steps we need to get to towards the top of the ladder, but we're there. We know what we need, and it's going to be a big
Mhm.
start, obviously, coming up to improve the squad. But we've got the Champions League football as well to offer now. It's going to be hopefully a great summer transfer window, and we're right there. I can see us just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think this is, on one hand, yeah, it's obviously very disappointing, to see how it all is turning out, right? But what, I can't help but feel excited. And already some people are already saying like, oh well, Liverpool's gonna get better, Tottenham is gonna try and get better, Chelsea, Newcastle is on the rise, United is not gonna get, and I'm like, yes, I give you that. Like, yes, every team is gonna get better. Like, that's the case every year. But so is Arsenal. And like, I understand that progress isn't like linear, like it's not always gonna be the same, but like, this is exactly what people were saying last year. Like, oh, like Arsenal bottled the top four. They're not going to make top four this year because everybody's gotten better. And what happened? Right? Like, we've been challenging for the title this whole time. So, not to say like, again, oh shit, I got distracted because Liverpool just scored,
The
and
Liverpool score.
yeah,
When I just checked it, it was 4-3-3. So it's 4-3.
yeah,
Yeah?
it's 4-3 now.
Oh wow.
Uh, okay, yeah, I got distracted, but yeah. Anyway, you should leave it on there because that was awesome. Um, but yeah, just ultimately what I was gonna say was just like, to use Arteta's phrasing, right? We're in phase 3 of 5. Like, we're not where we want to be, and like that, I feel like that's good. And I felt like with the team that we went with, and basically we didn't change anything. Like, there was a lot of talk about, oh, maybe we should go to a back three, we should change things up a little bit. And Arteta just kind of went with what's been working. And it's kind of like akin to in basketball when you're a team on the floor and the other team is going on a run, and instead of the coach calling a timeout to kill the run, the coach just lets the players on the floor figure it out. And if they do, then great. If they don't, you know, we'll call a timeout. So it felt like almost like, hey man, this is what's gotten us to this point. Like, we gotta just do it, and we could, see what happens. And you could see in the body language, like, yes, he looked upset, but it wasn't like, for him, it was like, hey man, we got, and even in his post game comments, like, hey, you got to move forward. Like, this is the reality. Like, with him, without really saying it, he was just like, look, they're much better than us. This is the team we have. This is how we're gonna go forward. Like, a lot of people were like saying, like, really, really hating on Rob Holding, and I'm like, who else are we gonna start? Like, you're gonna really put Jacob Kivior in there, who's still learning English and still trying to get better. Like, he's our third choice center back. Like, that's what we have. We can't put anybody else in there. William Saliba's probably not coming back. Like, this is the team we have, and we got to just roll with what we got. And we've got some depth in other areas, and we're suffering in other ones, and we're showing it. So, um, yeah, man. Ultimately, like, I still feel good. Like, I, I'm a little worried, right? Like, but I mean, we got top four. I just want to see us finish the season strong, and you never know. We could take City to the last day, and if that's the case, great. But if not, I just really hope, regardless of what happens in these last 5 games, like the nice run that we've gone on, like, it's been a good season regardless, man. And there's a lot to look forward to in the upcoming years for sure, man. Especially if we have a big summer, which I think that's the case. Like, we're in Champions League. This was the goal from the beginning of the year. Now it's time to raise the level of expectations. And, we've challenged for the title this long. We could still very well win it. But this is our new reality, bro. Like, the standards have been raised. So the standards are going to be raised in the transfer market as well, I feel like. So, yes, everybody else is raising their standards and trying to get better, but so are we. So I say, game on. Let's go. Like, look at us, man. We're good. We're good. Arsenal's back. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
I'm
And
excited, man. Yeah.
we have such a young team. Them players playing together for longer and longer. They're just going to get better and better, continue to improve that connection between them. And yeah, just add a bit of experience, couple more players in some key positions, which obviously we'll talk about at the end of the season. But, we do know where some areas we are lacking a bit of depth. But yeah, that's going to be taken care of. Pretty sure we've done so well with the transfer windows in recent times. So I'm not worried about that. I'm sure we will get the right players in. Arteta's got his vision. The board have been backing him. Edu, they've all been doing a great job. So look forward to seeing what they can do in the summer. So just to finish with a title race now. Okay, so we know it's likely, very likely that City are going to go on and win it. But we saw today that was a difficult game. Fulham really pushed them, and they managed to get through with a 2-1 win, close game. You never know what can happen. Just needs them to have a couple of poor performances, bit of tiredness coming in, bit of taking their eye off the ball a little bit, focusing on the Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid. So we never know. We just got to make sure we win our games, and that starts with Chelsea. And Chelsea are in really poor form. But yeah, before I ask you about that Chelsea game, yeah, just your overall thoughts now on the last 5 games for us and the title race.
Yeah, man. I think Chelsea's going to be a little bit of a scary match for me. Like, yes, they're in bad form, but it's a London derby. Like, if any, like it's Chelsea, right? Anything could really happen. I think we got a really difficult schedule coming up. But this reminds me of that last year where we lost a bunch of winnable games and then won a bunch of losable games, right? We won United. I think we won West Ham, and then I think we won against Chelsea as well, right toward the end of the year. Like it was getting scary. We're like, and I think part of it is, I think we were feeling the pressure, and I think with this loss, one maybe silver lining is the pressure's off, and now we can just play freely and go balls to the wall like we have been earlier in the season. Like that, I think that was our biggest strength early in the season was we were just playing freely. Like nobody was expecting Arsenal to be doing anything. So we just snuck up on teams. Now we're not sneaking up on anybody. Everybody knows we're the top dogs right now and like they're going to bring their best. So I think the dynamic changes a little bit now that City's in the driver's seat. I think the pressure's on them now, and I think that's going to be okay for this young Arsenal squad. So I'm very optimistic, and I understand people who are not optimistic and saying, "Hey, like we can lose all the rest of these games, but we can also win a lot of these games. All these games are going to be tough. Uh, Newcastle's flying, Brighton's flying, Wolves are terrible. Nottingham Forest is fighting for their lives. I am worried about this Chelsea match, but also at the same time, Chelsea is really, really terrible. So I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, this is why we play the sport, or wait, we play the sport. This is why they play the sport. This is why we watch it. This is why we love this sport, because anything can happen. So I just think, ultimately, I think I'm hoping that this month has really been a humbling experience for the players, and they can just kind of let loose and just say, "Hey, man, whatever happens in the past," exactly what Arteta said. Like, "Hey, this is the reality, and we have to deal with it. So let's deal with it. How do we deal with the reality that, hey, we're just not as good as City, but we're still better than everybody else, and we have to like kind of play with that mentality." So we'll see what happens, man. But I'm confident for now.
Yeah, bro. Chelsea, man. It's so funny to see the situation we're in. They're unable to score since Frank Lampard's come in, lost all the games that they've played, and they could be dragged into a relegation battle because just looking at
Yeah.
they got some hard games. They got us, they got Man City still. They got a tricky few games coming up, and if they keep losing, you never know. It's doubtful they'll get relegated, but just the fact that they're so close to the teams down the bottom there. It was funny. I was reading something the other day. There was a stat about Man City and they're mentioning that their record against bottom 12 sides, and
Mhm.
they mentioned their result against Chelsea, man. I was just laughing. Bottom 12 sides.
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea down there. So yeah, it's really funny to see how much they're struggling. They've spent a ridiculous amount of money. I don't know what they've been doing there, but yeah, complete mess of a situation. Hopefully, we can add to their troubles. We want to obviously bounce back from our recent poor results. We need to get that win. What's your thoughts and predictions?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bigger match than maybe we even like consider. Like I think it's going to be they're going to come and they're going to come to play, right? Um, it's just one of those storybook things. I think it's they're going to get up for a game against Arsenal, and they have a chance to really, their season is over. They have a chance to maybe put a mark on somebody else's season. So I think they're going to come in motivated and play hard, and it's going to be closer than we think it is. But I think we're going to prevail. We're going to persevere, and our form is not very good right now. But I think this is the perfect opportunity to kind of get back on it, right? So I think we end up winning 2-0. Because I think just Chelsea just has a hard time scoring goals and all that. So I think we ride out the wave that they bring, and then we end up winning the match 2-0 pretty comfortably at the end. But yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 or 2-0, 2-0.
Okay, bro. Yeah, I think we're gonna win quite comfortably. I'm going for 3-0. Hopefully, we're gonna smash them and yeah, get our confidence back. Got a massive game after that away to Newcastle. We know what happened there last season. I really want to get revenge on them for what happened there last season and get a good win. And let's hope we can close out the season. Like I said, regardless what happens with the title, we want to close out the season in the best possible way, get 5 wins, get to 90 points, and we move on to next season. And as I said, never know the City situation.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm nervous, but obviously different, little sad. Like the reality hit. It was. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed, but I wasn't like I didn't feel like the end of the world. Like I just felt numb. Like it sucks, but this team has brought me so much joy this year. Like I it was hard for me to feel like disappointed in them or upset at them. Like we are where we are, and right now on the table it's second place. So we still have a shot. We can still take City to the end. Um, and we just need things to happen our way. And it didn't happen so far, but there's 5 games to go, and anything can happen. Anything has happened, right? We've bottled two straight two nil leads. We fell behind a relegation team 3-1 and ended up drawing all 3 of those games. And then just ended up getting beat by a really, really strong City team that's just turning into form. So, but before that, I mean, we went on a 7-game unbeaten streak. Our 10-game unbeaten streak ended, and it's time to just start a new one. Hopefully, we can finish with 5 straight wins, and then just go from there and go into the summer. But we'll see, man. I'm excited about it, and we've gone this far. It'd be ridiculous to give up on the boys now. Like, let's go, bro. Like, let's go to bars, let's drink, and let's have a good time, man. Enjoy Arsenal. Hopefully, battering Chelsea. Fuck
Yeah,
Chelsea, man.
yeah. But another thing I say as well, man, just got to give credit to them. You've got to give
Hmm.
credit. See, I'm saying champions for the last 5 seasons. We've seen Liverpool get a massive amount of points and not win the league. It's just sometimes it's sports. You got to give credit to the opposition. Can't just be looking at us and looking at the reasons for us not doing. You got to look at the reasons of why they're so good. Like some of it, we know the whole situation with the whole cheating situation financially, the charges they got against them. So yeah, there's that side of things. But as it is on the pitch, that is one hell of a team and squad. Very experienced, great manager. A lot of credit to them has to be given as well. So, bro, just before we go, there are some other midweek games happening. So, get your predictions on them. For us, the key one is Man City have got West Ham.
Um, that's their game in hand, man. We're gonna really need West Ham to play all out, man. Or yeah, I'm gonna hope for a draw. West Ham are fighting for their lives in the relegation battle, and you never know, man. So that's what I'm gonna hope for. I'm gonna predict a draw because I want to manifest it and bring it into existence. So I'm gonna say 2-2 draw. And that's one of the first games that City drops points in, man, and gives us a little bit of life.
That was amazing, bro. Come on, West Ham. You can do so, man, hopefully. Okay,
Let's
couple
go.
so Liverpool and Fulham.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I thought Fulham played really well, all things considering. Again, they just don't have the same level of, I guess, quality, if you will. Liverpool are just all over the place, man. Look strong going up against Tottenham, but also Tottenham's terrible. But then they ended up persevering and getting the win. Fulham is playing everybody hard. It's going to be 10th place versus Liverpool jumped to 5th. I just can't see Liverpool putting together two great good performances in a row. I think Fulham gets the upset 2-1.
Okay, and then Man United against Bournemouth.
Uh, Man United, they're still getting lucky and getting wins when they shouldn't be getting wins. I thought they probably got lucky to walk away with 3 points today against Villa. I thought Villa were good on the day. I think they beat Bournemouth 2-0.
Okay, bro. Difficult show, hard week for us, but we move proud of our team. Back from all the way. We will get this league title soon. If it's not to be this season, it will be soon. And let's go, boys. Let's deal with Chelsea. Bro, thanks for your time.
My pleasure, man. We'll look forward to speaking with you. I guess after the Chelsea game, we'll talk and touch base and talk about Newcastle. Hopefully, we're 3 points richer come Wednesday.
And City are 2 or 3 points less. Hopefully.
Yes, let's go. Come on.
That's all from us. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share.